course, in this new series is, of course, Sunday School for Atheists. And today I'll be reading it's only Jesus, how to have a miracle offering. Lesson 1, offer willingly. 1 Chronicles 29, verses 6 through 17. Now let me give you a little background now on why they did this when I was at this church. They were having some financial difficulties. I'm not going to get into the wheres and whys and who was doing what with who when they shouldn't have been, and how they covered it up and blame Satan's attacking the church and stuff like that. We won't get into that. But basically, they wanted between January and April have a miracle offering. And in April have $100,000 to pay for a lot of their debts, $100 grand. Now, they did raise $100,000 by April. Was that a miracle? Think about it. January through April is tax time. So people are giving their taxes money. Not to mention the fact people did donate money. And then, of course, people will call it a miracle. Hey, I gave money and all of a sudden a miracle happened. I got more money. You should have been there. They know how to sell this stuff. They get you to keep giving. Churches know what they're doing. Introduction. It was time for Israel to build the temple. 1 Chronicles 29, 6 through 17, in case you forgot. God was going to use Solomon. I'm not going to read the whole thing, so don't fret, okay? The successor to David's throne as the leader to build the temple of God. In David's wisdom, he began to prepare not only Solomon, but also the people for this task. In this passage, we find great offering being taken for the purpose of the building of the temple. The key to the success of this miracle offering is found in the word willingly, except for the slaves that had no choice but to build, of course. You remember what they say, George Washington was good to his slaves? Yeah, they're still slaves. This word is found 6 times in these verses, describing the mindset and reason for the success of the offering for God's temple. Leadership willingly set the example. 1 Chronicles 29, 6. Then the chief of the fathers and princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of the thousands and of hundreds, the rulers of the king's work, offered willingly. Dr. Lee Robertson was known for saying, everything rises and falls on leadership. People willingly gave for the service of the house of God. 1 Chronicles 29, 7. And gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents and 10,000 drams, and silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and 100,000 talents of iron. Now, if you read the Bible and read about the building of the temple of Israel, you know that estimates say all the gold and everything is over $1 trillion. Now think about it, over $1 trillion. Over $1 trillion. How the hell would they have gotten how the hell would they have gotten $1 trillion worth of gold and all, silver and all this stuff? Come on. $1 trillion, is it really possible? If it is, please explain it to me in the comment section. I would really love to hear how they could get $1 trillion worth of gold and all that in the temple. Gifts of great value were willingly given and gave for the 1 Chronicles 29, 7, 8. And gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 drams, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and of 100,000 talents of iron. And they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jehiel of the Gershonites. The gifts were willingly given to the church to keep until they were needed, and blah, 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 blah. The people willingly gave with a perfect heart. 1 Chronicles 29, 9. Then the people rejoiced for that they offered willingly, because with perfect hearts they offered willingly to the Lord. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. I'm surprised. Usually David is rejoicing when he gets to kill somebody. God was magnified and glorified by the willing offering. David was humbled by the ability to give such a good offering. 1 Chronicles 29, 14. But who am I and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? For all things come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. It is always humbling when God blesses in a miraculous way. Yeah, if you can actually really call it a miracle. Usually, 100% of the time when they say something's a miracle, it's usually a coincidence or something would have happened no matter what. Willing sacrifice offering was an acknowledgement that all things belong to God's way. Again, it says pretty much the same exact verse. Everything we have belongs to God. David was reminded that sacrificial offering is God's way of testing the hearts of his people. 1 Chronicles 29, 17. I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in uprightness, As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have willingly offered all these things, and now have I seen with joy that people which are present here offer willingly unto thee. And miracle offering is a great test for a church. It is an opportunity for God to test his people. Do you have a willing heart? Do you have a heart of faith? Conclusion, there are times when presenting an opportunity to give great gifts, offerings to God. And another thing you notice, if you were a Christian, or even a Jew, you notice that in the Bible, people do test God, and God's more than willing to prove himself. More than willing. Using that, people claim, well, I asked God for this and got this. I said, okay, you guys are doing that, and I believe I'm giving gospel tracts to people. I'm praying. I'm going to Sunday school, going to regular church in the morning and in the evening, coming back on Wednesdays. I'm doing my best to reach people. I feel led by the Holy Spirit to give gospel tracts. So, I want to buy a house. I want to get out of this dump. The only way I get a house is a miracle from God. So I prayed and prayed. I asked God to forgive my sins, just in case I don't know what sins I may have committed. I asked God, please reveal them to me. I remember doing that stuff. I was praying and praying and doing this for a long time. Never got a house. My truck's alternator died before, and I remember begging God to at least let me get the Pep Boys because it's walking distance from my home, and it would be a lot easier on me. But that didn't happen either. I'm not saying that's the reason why I don't believe, but it kind of kills the idea of there being something supernatural, and all this miracle stuff is even real. Thanks. Feel free to like, subscribe. Feel free to watch any of my other videos. Leave a comment. Thanks.